It's extremely unsettling at the end of the relationship when you see who the narcissist really is, when they have that narcissistic rage and everything is ramped up. The gaslighting, the manipulation. It's almost like they're a completely different person. And one of the things that many people, we understand it on a cognitive level, but it's hard to really let it sink in. And that's the fact that that person, the love bombing narcissist that wanted you in the beginning, that treated you well, they are that person. But they also are the person that is yelling at you, that's been cheating on you, that's now discarding you. They are both of those people at the same time. And many people hold on to the good parts of them that the narcissist showed to them at the beginning, and that's what makes it hard to let go of them. And when you idealize anything, right? It's like anything. You get a new car and you're like, I really want that new car. And then you get it and you realize it's not even as amazing as it is. And it's kind of like a cycle of idealization and devalue with all things in life. The narcissist does this on an extreme level. They have to get mad and treat you the way they treat you at the end of a relationship because there's many reasons. It could have been because you gave them a narcissistic injury and now they see you as their enemy. And this happens for obvious reasons. Sometimes people cheat on the narcissist because they've been pushed so much by the narcissist. The narcissist really has, like, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. The narcissist believes that people are going to leave them anyways because of the way they act, but because the narcissist doesn't have the ability to self-reflect, they actually make that self-fulfilling prophecy on their own because they are so unaware of, even the narcissists that are aware that they are a narcissist, they still can't break that cycle of narcissism. That should tell you all you need to know about them being angry with you at the end of the relationship. They can't help it. They have to villainize you in their eyes in order for them to be okay inside of their own warped perception of reality. The narcissist has to play these mental gymnastics with themselves because if they really let it sink in that you are a good person, that they lost someone who truly loved them, the shame and the guilt would eat them alive. And a lot of at the core of what being a narcissist is and the personality disorder that is NPD, they are just constantly running away from themselves. It's the concept of the true self and the false self. And when someone is running away from themselves because what it is they don't like who they are, it builds up a lot of anger and animosity and just hate towards. See, the narcissist hates themselves, and that's why when however someone feels on the inside, it's a reflection of how they treat others. You see this on the opposite end of the spectrum on like a depressed person, and you see it in just they're like slumped over. They are kind of like a downer to be around. However people feel on the inside, it's how they reflect to the world. So the narcissist hates themselves in a lot of ways. They do not like who they are deep down, and that's why they lash out at the world. And that's not an excuse for abuse. There's never an excuse for abuse. But really conceptualizing and understanding what narcissism is really let me get, once I was over like the initial just like very traumatic stage of like being with them, and then after a while I after learning what narcissism was, and I understood that like it wasn't personal. It really hurts us because we take it on a personal level, but You have to understand that the narcissist doesn't even know who they are on a personal level. At least the disorder makes them dissociate. The disorder makes them not really reflect and see, because their true self, that hateful, vengeful person that is mad at the world, that's who they really are. And they constantly run away from it. They constantly run away from it. And this is why they're lashing out at other people. They are running away from who they truly are. And when someone doesn't like who they are on the inside, you see it, like it reflects on the outside, right? Because of the personality disorder, they do it in a much harsher way. But you see it in all types of people. That person that is really like, I don't know. When you go like a cashier who like really hates, they're like in their 50s and they hate their life, and you can see it in the way they treat the customers and the way they like talk about themselves. They're really like, bitter with how their life turned out, and you can see it spill out in their personality. That's essentially what a narcissist is. But they have this split dichotomy of mind where they hate themselves and then they love themselves, right? The grandiosity. And that's why they're so confusing. And that's why even at the end of it, they could have been like, maybe you could have had like a good day with them, like, or a good day with a narcissist, which is just like when nothing goes wrong, right? Like just a neutral day is a good day with a narcissist. But then out of nowhere, a flip switches, and now they're yelling at you. They're saying you're the worst piece of garbage that they've ever met, and this is all to devalue you. But what really helped me was to understand that this wasn't personal. The narcissist is a lost, sad soul, and they don't even know who they are. So how could they? And they don't really. And trust me, they don't know who you are either. That's one of the things that hit me the hardest, is to realize that this person that I thought I loved so much, this person that I invested so much of my time, energy, and everything into, they really don't even know me at all. If I was, you know, I'm no contact, and you probably are with the narcissist as well. But ask them some life questions about yourself. Ask them about you, and you'll probably be maybe shocked, but you'll maybe not surprised, but you'll see the narcissist doesn't really know much about you. Ask them just some like little details that you've probably said in passing. Ask them little things about yourself that only someone who truly loves you, because someone who truly loves you, your presence is enough. But it's never enough for the narcissist. They need other stuff from you. Sometimes, the thing is, the narcissist is always after that supply. It's not about you. That's why when they've moved on and their new partner seems like whatever, less good looking than you, less wealthy, whatever it is, they they don't care. They just want supply. That's why when you stop complying with them, when you start to wake up, they have these fits of rage because you're no longer feeding into their delusions. And the thing is, most human beings do this on just a smaller scale. Just tell anybody the truth. It's a that's why everyone in the world masks up, and it's like you see it at work a lot too, right? The fakeness, or like, hey, how are you? Blah blah. How are your kids? You don't care. You don't really care about their kids, really, right? Like not in a mean way, but people are constantly having this like mask of who they really are. And if you just suddenly tell someone the truth, right? Like if you told that person, I don't give a F about your kids, it'd be very socially weird, and the truth hurts. And the narcissist does this to an extreme scale. That's why it's a personality disorder. And when you stop complying to their truth, their lie that they tell themselves, it angers that sad inner person that the narcissist is. And that's why they start lashing out at you. That's why they become so vengeful and hateful. And at this point, they have to discard you. They have to have this black and white thinking that you are the worst piece of human whatever that's ever existed. They have to have that thought in their mind, or else it'll drive them crazy, because at one point the narcissist can never be wrong. So at one point, they idealized you. At one point, you were a good source of supply to them, but now you aren't, and they can't have both of those thoughts, simultaneously in their head. So now this is why. This is why now the narcissistic rage and everything is so ramped up. They have to, in their mind, see you as all bad.